Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques.
Halt.
Jacques.
Halt.
What's up, folks? What's going on? What's happening? Everybody, as you all know, today, the Tennessee Titans with the big win against the Houston Texans, 32-27. Tennessee 1-1 now in the division. Shout out to the Tennessee Titans and how hard they played today against the Houston Texans. Shout out to everybody. What up, LaToya P? Shout out to everybody that's out there. Jacques, we talked about this, bro. We're going to get into it, bro. If those that watch our show, we talked about it, Jacques.
We did. Shout out to them for getting that first win, man. I mean, not the first win. The third win of the season against a decent Texan team. And that's why I say decent, because they're okay. But we got the win against them, and then they underestimated us. So shout out to them, man. So Hawk, I guess we'll go ahead and get into it, man.
All right.
Give us the main reason the Titans won this game.
All right, and we have that poll question out there as well too. The main reason I want to say offensive play calling, but you know what, man? That's a part of it. I'm gonna say Will Levis was the reason why we won this football game. He made the plays that needed to happen, right? And we said at the pregame show, I said it so clearly. I said, Jacques, from what I saw on tape, I think Will Levis could do something against the Texans. I see it, especially on the fact that they play so aggressive. Their safety shoot up the field pretty much on all defense, right? That allowed Will Levis to throw the ball deep middle, and that caused problems all game for the Houston Texans. Will Levis was 18 for 24, 278 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did have the 1 interception, but I'm saying we see progress. Play calling was there, but Will Levis had to make those throws, and he made those throws. Yes, he took a lot of quarterback sacks. Probably about 60% of it was his fault. Yes, he's got to do better with that, but there is progress. You just beat the number 1 team in the AFC South, and they were 3-0 before this game, and we beat them. We straight up beat them. No fluky, no anything like that, because we made our mistakes, and we still won the football game. I'm going to give this win to Will Levis. Will Levis has been playing really well over the last several games. He's making people question, like, man, should we draft a quarterback the way he's playing? I'm telling you, man, listen, they were not prepared. I felt you spoke about the zero blitz that Houston likes to run. I spoke a lot on the fact that not only with the blitz, hey, they bring everybody. That's the strength of Will Levis. The 1 interception he had is when they ran zone. He shredded them apart. Will Levis outplayed C.J. Stroud today. The Tennessee Titans overall had a good game today. We beat the Houston Texans. Shout out to the Tennessee Titans. Huge win. Shout out to Will Levis. Shout out to Tony Pollard. He had a hell of a game too. Tennessee with the win, Job. What about for you? What do you feel was the main reason we won this game?
Defense. Shout out to the defense, man. And I don't feel like they don't get a lot of love. They've kept us in this little season that we can kind of, I guess, scramble. But for them, man, they've been doing their thing since the beginning of the season, man. And to contain and to keep Will Levis in the offense scoring points, you got to contain C.J. Stroud in that offense. Mixon didn't go off like he has in weeks past. C.J. Stroud didn't go off like he has in a couple of games that he has. So from the defensive perspective, man, shout out to JB, man. Jarvis Brownlee Jr., man, that is my guy. He is starting to emerge as one of the better Titans from a veteran standpoint to a rookie standpoint. That young man had balled out, got his first interception. Shout out to him. Murray got an interception. T. Sweat got a sack. Shout out to them boys, man, because, again, you have to contain that offensive unit that's used to having explosive plays, right? We eliminated the explosive plays. We didn't have Hooker. I think our other safety went down, but he came back in. Hey, Denard has done a hell of a job with this defense, man. He has done a hell of a job with this defense. This defense has been balling. And, again, shout out to them. They were the ones that closed the game out for us, right? That crucial sack that got that safety, shout out to the defense. Shout out to the defense when the offense needs to be bailed out. Because, yes, Will Levis did have a good game, but that was a sloppy performance on the offense as well. You allow 8-9 sacks, that's still sloppy, right? Will Levis got his touchdowns. Hey, did his thing. Still threw an interception. The defense needed to bail him out at that particular time to put him back in plus territory. So, for me, defense.
Tell him, Jacques. So, speaking of Will Levis, As you know, again, the Tennessee Titans with the big win today against the Texans, 32-27. Big win today for us in our first AFC South Division win. So, Will Levis today, again, as I mentioned earlier, he had a good game at 278 yards of passing, 2 touchdowns, 18 for 24. He also ran it 8 times. For today's game, what would you grade Will Levis today?
I give him an A. I give him an A. I give him an A. He'll get an A from me. Again, he was able to take what he was given, and he excelled on it. Gets an A. What about you?
Facts, no paper. I'm grading Will Levis an A as well, too. I think that Will Levis, we got that poll question out the way. Somebody graded him a D and an F. Somebody must be trolling on that. But I'll give him an A for sure. Other players stepped up again. Tony Pollard, 119 yards rushing. But he threw the ball very evenly throughout. I mean, Calvin Ridley had 5 catches. Tyler Boyd had 6 catches. Nick Westbrook-Akina with a touchdown. Chig with a touchdown. I mean, what more can you ask, right? Again, he's progressing. And that to me is like, okay, wow, you passed this exam today. And against a really good defense. Houston has a good defense. Their offense has been shaky. But defensively, when you look at Will Anderson, you look at Daniel Hunter out there, you look at Al Shahir, those guys are good. Hey, he overcame a lot of issues today. Shout out to Will Levis for sure, man.
Okay.
Yep.
Speaking of Will Levis, we're going to stick with him. Is he our future? Have you seen today's game, Hawk, give you the glory and say, hey, Will Levis is our future franchise quarterback that's going to take us to the promised land and win us a Super Bowl?
To win a Super Bowl is what you're asking, right?
Oh, well, have you seen enough? Is he our future? I'm just going to sum it up like that. Is he our future? Have you seen enough from today's game and from the couple of games that he's played since he's come back?
I have not seen enough. It takes time to know for a fact this is going to be our future quarterback, right? We still have – how many more games we have left? We're 3-8, so we still have, 6 more games, right? So I think right now, we need to see more out of him. So I'm going to say not yet, but I like how he's progressing because 3 weeks ago I would have told you hell no. But I do see progress as far as what's going on right now to say, hey, he might be the future of the franchise as far as our quarterback, at least going into that next year to say we should at least give him a chance, right? At least try that for sure. So, right now, we're putting ourselves in a position where we probably won't get the top 2 pick in the draft. So if you can't get a quarterback in the top 3, if you don't get in that spot, you might as well keep Will Levis for right now. So I'm going to say not yet. What about you, Jacques?
Same. I haven't seen enough yet. Even though he played a good game, I still see a lot of issues, man. A lot of issues when it comes to him playing the overall quarterback position. And I mentioned this, and I'm gonna live on this rock again. I'm gonna tell you, and continue to say this. He does some amazing things. The amazing things we've seen today. He does some middle of the pack things. You'll be like, okay, I question that, but it worked. And then he'll give you some bonehead things in the wrong time. Right. And everything happened in that game today, right? The Nick Akina Westbrook touchdown, the Chig touchdown, the interception he threw, the sacks he's taken. If I'm going to go with my future, I need somebody that can overcome those things. And pocket presence is hard to coach out, if that makes sense. Facts. His pocket presence is still not the best. And and Callahan is doing his best to work with him, to get him where he needs to be. But again, good shout out to us winning this game because if it wasn't for, again, the defense bailing us out on some instances, we were on the downtrend to lose the game. So, and again, I'm going to say it's about the Texans. The Texans are not world beaters. From what I've seen when they played the Cowboys, you played the Titans have a top 5 defense. You played a great defense, Texans, okay? If anybody from the Texans is watching this show, y'all played a great defense, and y'all need to give us our credit, right?
Yep.
So that's for me.
Gotcha, dude. Gotcha, bro. Gotcha. So, Jacques, right now, I mean, I don't know the percentages as far as where we are. For those that are joining the show again, the Texans with the loss against the Titans, 32-27. Looking at the Tennessee Titans, we're 1-1 in the division in the AFC South, right? There's still a lot of games left. Is there a realistic opportunity for us to make the playoffs?
I mean, I guess on paper, maybe. Mathematically, I guess. Yeah, it is. There's always a chance. There's always a chance. Yeah, it's a chance. But I'm not even thinking about playoffs right now. But hey, if it's there, it's there. What about you, Hawk?
I think it's very slim to none, honestly, in my opinion. Houston has already won 3. So let's not get it twisted. Jacksonville's a terrible football team. The Colts are not a good football team. They could beat you, right? They can. They already done, right? That's already happened. So that loss hurts us. So we have to pull a string of wins and I don't know if we're good enough to do that. Though I do feel like our defense is very strong. The fact that we got corners that are not even playing and safeties that are not even playing, we're still playing well on defense.
Man,
but we still are trusting Will Levis to win a lot of football games, a rookie head coach. I still think we got a lot to learn. So I don't think we're going to make the playoffs. I think we're still too much in the dump, to be honest with you.
I feel you. And if we do get in the playoffs, we're not making it past the first round. Hell.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the cream of the crop. Like, nah, but yeah, I'm with you, Hawk. I don't think we have a slim. It's slim. And I don't even think at this point I'm not worried about playoffs. I'm just trying to get the team, get confidence and continue to build on these wins and everything like that. And then go from there. But yeah.
Shout out to T. Kelly.
All
right, so I do have one more question before we go to our chop up. So again, the Tennessee Titans, man, when you look at the stats today for the game, the Titans had 369 yards of total offense versus 260 with the Texans. And we had almost 6 yards per play versus their 4. 19 first downs for us, 13 for them. And we had the ball a lot longer at 34 minutes versus their 25. So we talked about a lot of players and things as far as this game. And I see some people saying the offense was disappointing this game. I didn't quite see it like that. I thought the offense did pretty well today. So name a player outside of, say, Will Levis or even the coach, Brian Callahan or whatever. Name a player that you felt had a hell of a game today.
Jarvis Brownlee for a fact. That joker get a game ball. From me, I think he did better than Will Levis. I know Will Levis is a quarterback, but Jarvis Brownlee was all over the place, man. I mean, he was making crucial plays, batting things down, getting interceptions. Like, my guy this is the advantage when you are coming to as a rookie into a situation where you have a Hall of Fame wide receiver, another top tier wide receiver that you can go against in practice every single day because you learn. And then you have L'Jarius Sneed, who you're learning from also, right?
Yep.
When you have that and the reps that you have, the crucial reps that you have taken, you only get better and you continue to get better. So for me, Jarvis Brownlee Jr., man, that young man, shout out to Rand Carthon, man. That was a hell of a pickup, man.
Yeah.
That's for me. What about you, Hawk?
So when I look at this game, the Houston Texans coming into this game was the number 3 defense in the league, right? And their run defense has been pretty strong as well, been top 5 to top 10 every week. I'm going Tony Pollard, bro. I think Tony Pollard, to your point about Will Levis, Tony Pollard was the level setter. He was making runs. I was like, bro, I can't believe he just got out of that situation and got a first down. And he was running unbelievably. 5 yards a carry, 24 carries, 119 yards rushing. He was really the only running back out there. Chestnut played a few early in the game, but Tony Pollard was the level setter for today's game, and he even had 3 catches out there on the field. So I think Tony Pollard might be one of our most underrated players when you talk about the Titans, because when you look at him as well, too, man, Tony Pollard's on his way to 1,000 yards rushing. It don't even seem like it, right? Tony Pollard had a hell of a game today. Houston had no answer for him. In the first half, Tony Pollard was going off. He had a touchdown as well today. So I'm giving my game ball to Tony Pollard for this game, man. Shout out to TP, man.
Good job.
For sure, man. So cool. All right, well, listen, we are at our favorite part of the show, the live chop up. Again, if you have not followed us here on Bleacher Report, do that today. Follow us, hit that fire icon as well, too, man. If you're watching us in any other platform, it won't show live there, but you can follow us on YouTube at Tennessee Titans Weekly. We're on Instagram at Tennessee Titans Weekly. We're on Twitter at Titans Weekly 24/7. We're at Apple and we're on Spotify. So fire off some questions for us, y'all. We're going to answer those questions as quickly as we can, and let's get chopping it up, man.
TK said the offense was disappointing.
I don't think so. We had 32 points. And none of those were defensive touchdowns. Or unless am I missing something on that?
No,
it was all offense. It was all offense today. We have been averaging 17 points a game over the last 5 games. 32 points is almost double that. I thought our offense. And I know play calling was pretty good. I felt Brian Callahan was in his bag today.
Yeah, but he said TK said not today. I guess I think they look at it from a sloppy perspective of the sacks. In those instances where he was able to throw those touchdown passes. It was situations where, hey, the defense is giving me what they take. I'm gonna boom, bomb it down. But to TK's point, when he say disappointing, 8 sacks is pretty disappointing, or 8 or 9 sacks or whatever.
That's facts.
Some of those sacks on Will, some of those sacks on the offensive line.
Thanks.
The interception, yeah, he threw an interception. Was almost like a second nature type thing. CJ Stroud was throwing interceptions too. But when you really look at it, it's like, hey, if I'm coaching him, and I know he's probably gonna get for it, because what are we reading right there? Yeah, we can say he didn't see it, but Coach Callahan is expecting you to see that, right? Certain things I get. Only thing, the bright spot, I think, from the offensive perspective, like you said, was TP. TP, man, he sets the tone for the offense. If TP can't go, if the run game is not going, the passing game is not going to open up. But if the run game is opening up, oh man, we straight. We have a possibility to win this game. You know what I mean? And then TP said he's not talking about the offense today. He's talking about to make the playoffs.
Okay.
So he put some context behind it.
I got you. Yeah. I don't think we're gonna make the playoffs. So I mean,
TP, he didn't say that.
yeah. I think I think if we did, I don't see it.
Yeah. I'm with you. We still have to play the Bengals. Their team is kind of shaky right now, but from a record perspective, but from a Joe Burrow and what's his name perspective, they pretty solid.
Yeah.
But let me see here. I don't see a question. Y'all throw some questions out there, man.
Yep.
Let's see. What up, Latoya? Play calling was sus. Hey, Hawk, do you think the play calling was sus?
I don't. Not from a rookie head coach. No, I don't. I think people might not realize how good the defense is from the Texans. The Texans have a good defense. I think if there's anything it's not gonna be a perfect game. There's gonna be certain play calls like, why did he do this? Why did he do that? Like, especially when we were down on their end of the field, certain plays calls like, man, bro, you can't do that or whatever. Yes, you're gonna have that, right? But overall, as a game, I mean, I would give Callahan a grade of a B+ today. I felt we put 32 points on the board, folks. 32 points, all offensive points, right? Few field goals, yes, but looking at Houston, Houston's a playoff team. Houston's going to the playoffs. We just beat a playoff team, so I felt it was all right. What about you, Jacques?
Play calling was decent. It was pretty decent from what he was able to call. Yeah, I think he did a good job. Like you said, it's gonna be some things where you call like it was the fourth quarter and it was third and like 14 or 15 or something, and Callahan called the pass play where Will threw it up, and I'm like, hey, you can't keep surviving like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll add to this, Jacques. So for those that watch our show, we had the pregame show and that spoke deliberately about the fact that there's going to be opportunities for us to get the ball deep based on how Houston plays on defense. Houston likes to run a lot of blitz, especially with their safeties and even their linebackers. And I didn't feel that inside that's their strength. And I think when we talk about offensive play calling, the Titans knew the exact same thing, and they exposed that. Most of their best plays was deep in the middle, and he got it done. So, he's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes, but I felt he had a strong game today, coaching.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. This is not a game. There's not a game left on the schedule the Titans can't win, especially with the chance to do that. Yep. You got the Jags, which I still think the Jags are trash in my opinion. So I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. TK, I'm not going to say that I disagree with you on that. I do think most, if not all, our games are winnable. I mean, we don't really have a lot of playoff teams that we're facing over the next few games, and most of those games are AFC South games, right? The Commanders are next. We got the Jags, the Bengals, the Colts, Jags, Texans. So that's not a scary schedule. I do agree. So, all right. So, TK, I have a question for you. Are you thinking we're making the playoffs? Because if we win all those games, we're making the playoffs.
Oh, I think he said we wasn't making the playoffs. I think from what I'm reading. Yeah, TK. Yeah. I don't think he said, because his question, I was referring to the question of making us making the playoffs. He said, okay, so I think his question, that's why I said, okay, that's what he asked. Okay, that's why I said we can make the playoffs. The defense. So are you saying the defense? Okay. So he's saying we can, yeah. I mean, they are winnable. Yeah, they are winnable.
We'd have to be undefeated. We can't lose a game.
You sure can't.
And I don't think we're that good. I don't think we're good enough to win every game.
I agree. I feel like the Cincinnati, that's a tough task. That's a real tough task. That's a shootout waiting to happen. And their defense is not killers, but their defense is like the Colts defense, where they are sneaky good, and you like, how are y'all this good with not a lot of talent? If that makes sense, it's just like the Colts. I look at the Colts in the same manner, and I beat up on the Colts a lot because the Colts, to me, I feel like they're a middle of the pack team, but they tend to play us pretty tough all the time. That makes sense,
right? Yep, they do.
We should beat them. We should, in theory, we should beat them. We should beat them.
Yeah.
But I got us. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we'll sweep the Jags. In my opinion, I'm still sticking with that. I just me.
Well, they're the worst team in the league. That's very possible.
I'm sticking with that. I just don't think the Jags are that good. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is that good. That's my opinion. Just me. And he hurt. So, yeah. So let me ask y'all a question.
Oh, go for it.
Let me ask y'all a question. With the win today, how many people still want that top 5 or top 3 pick? Or do you want us to continue to win games to win out and miss out on that top 5 pick? And you don't even have to pick a quarterback in that. Or are you okay with picking maybe 7 or 10 like how we did last year and getting something pretty okay? What do you think, Hawk? How do you feel about that?
I'm not a person that likes to say just go out there and lose. I mean, I prefer us to tank, but as I've mentioned, it's really based on Will Levis. If Will Levis plays very well, win them all, right? Or play well and lose every game. But you know that going into next season, he could be our quarterback. We have a high draft pick. We either draft somebody there or trade the pick. So I'm really on the mindset, if we're not going to make the playoffs, hey, play well, don't win a lot of games. Try to get the highest pick you can. And if Will Levis stinks later in the season, try to lose so you can get the second pick of the draft or something. But the way we're 3-8, and there's a whole lot of teams that got the same record as we do. Man, so we'd have to lose. We'd have to lose a lot of games for that to happen. So it's not a guarantee we're going to be top 2. So it's hard to put your eggs in that basket to say let's lose it all. Right? The way they're playing, the Titans are not playing to lose.
They sure ain't. They are sure ain't. They're not playing to lose. T. Kelly said, "What do y'all think about special teams today? Trash."
Grade F.
Yep. Trash.
Yep.
Again, from the fumble by Jackson to the letting up the big run on the first play of the game, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, the special teams unit, I always said personnel. Nick Akina Westbrook might need to get back on special teams in order to help him, because that's where he started. And he was pretty good when he was on special teams. You got the kid, number 24. He's on special teams now, so hopefully he can kind of come in and help a little bit. But today they played trash, bro.
Cole Anderson, you need to be talked to, bro. Like, bro, you need. I don't know what it is. It's a lack of. We have a lack of speed, a lack of just whatever out there on special teams. Special teams are scary, dude. And Houston has not been that strong this year in kickoff. They got a 4-string running back returning kicks, bro. That lets you know right there, right? So our special teams was terrible and have been all season. The only game they done well was last week against Minnesota. That's it.
Yep. Special teams cost you games.
That's right.
Division is there. Go win it. They can, TK. I mean, they can win the division. So, TK, we're going to the Super Bowl, bro. I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with you. Yeah, division is good. Yeah, go win the division. If you can win it, win it. Win it.
We have to win every game because Houston already has 3 wins. They're going to win. They're going to win some more games.
They sure is.
So we have to win every game, and
I don't.
Yeah, it's there. Agreed.
Yeah,
but that's a tall task that's being asked here.
Yep.
The Titans are 3-8, man.
I agree with you, Hawk. TK's optimistic, man. He's super optimistic. I'm with you, dog. I don't see it, man.
Yeah.
I see us maybe winning 1 or 2 more. But
is it your birthday today, T. Kelly? I see 11/24 next to your name. That's today's date. Just wondering. Just wondering.
Win the Super Bowl. Yeah. Hey, TK funny. He's Hawk, we winning the Super Bowl with a fullback, bro. We need a fullback, dog.
Yeah.
we Super Bowl champs, baby. We're going to get our dream, dog.
So, Jacques, I have a question for you and everybody on the call here. Mm-hmm. All right. Seeing what we saw in Houston, we beat them fair and square, right? A lot of ups and downs. It was a very exciting game. Oh, happy birthday to you, T. Kelly. Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday, dude.
Yes, sir.
So, and we appreciate you watching the show on your birthday as well.
Right.
So, listen, what do you think about the Houston Texans? For those that are Texan fans, you see, we no disrespect, but we rocking the Oilers, right? So tell me, what do you think about the Texans, man? What do you think about them, Jacques?
They're okay. CJ Stroud, man, it might be a sophomore slump, dude. Like he this wasn't his game, man. The Texans, to me, they all run through CJ Stroud. Defensively, I think you said it. Their safeties are aggressive. They're okay. To me, they're a one and done team in the playoffs, in my opinion.
Yep.
And it really based off of CJ Stroud. Again, he went up against a good defense. I'm just gonna be straight 100 with you. Our defense is that good, right? And then when you get to the playoffs, you go up against better defenses, right? And so for me, I feel like the Texans are okay. To me, they're not scary. They're not world beaters. CJ Stroud, this is what I expected him to look last year. And I know I get a lot of, I've always said this. I was surprised at how he came out firing, but this is how I expected him to look last year. And maybe it's a confidence thing. I don't know. But you just let a 2-8 Titans team beat you, and we ran amok on you. That doesn't happen to real good playoff teams, in my opinion. You might drop 1 or 2, but that's just math. What about you, Hawk, bro? What do you think?
I think Houston is going to have to go back to the drawing board on a few things. I think on defense, I mean, Hunter had 3 sacks against him. He was killing out there today, right?
Yeah,
him and Will Anderson are good because Will Anderson had 2 sacks. So 5 sacks amongst them in total. Again, I think they had maybe 8 or 9 sacks today. So, looking at that in itself, I think that part of their defense is really good overall. Like, I think they're going to rush the passer. I think what they're going to have to focus in on is like, man, what are we going to do in our pass coverage, bro? We can't be this aggressive. I think they trust Stingley and them guys a whole lot, right? And Stingley will hold his own, but Ridley had he had 93 yards receiving out there today. We ain't spoke about Calvin Ridley. Really had a hell of a game himself today. So I think they need to stop trusting their DBs. You got 2 rookies out there, and Kamari Lassiter, he's a rookie, and you got Bullock, who's a rookie. You got 2 safeties that are rookies, and then you got Ward and those guys. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board and change up their pass defense. I think if they do that, that'll help them. But I think the biggest problem with them is Stephon Diggs is not on the field. Stephon Diggs is out for the season. So you're trusting Nico Collins, who's just now, coming along, and Tank Dell, he's in his 2nd year. I can't just sit there and say, oh, I'm good with Nico and Tank. Like, I'm good. No, you're not. You're not. They're going to have to find ways on offense. Joe Mixon got stopped today. He had 22 yards rushing today.
Yep. The defense.
We weren't playing that. The biggest problem that I see with the Texans on offense, I'm not going to even say Joe Mixon. I'm not going to even say their receivers, nor even CJ Stroud, dog. It's their offensive line, dude. Their offensive line isn't good, bro. They're not. They played well against the Cowboys, but what I saw today, the defensive line was punching them in their mouth, bro. We only had 2 sacks, but we controlled the line of scrimmage. And then what that did for our defense, it made CJ throw it a lot quicker than he wanted to. He wasn't even – there were hands in the air. He was sitting there like, man, what's going on or whatever. I felt that their players could have played better. But the offensive line struggled to me, man. I'd be interested to see what their PFF rank was today.
That's because you went up against a good defense. I'm telling you, bro, our defense is cold, man. Like, we have a solid defense. I don't know who they play next week, but they might look a totally different. If they look totally different next week, then it makes sense. Our defense is that good. If they look totally different next week, that's just my point. Because Joe Mixon ran amok against the Cowboys. And running backs have not been able to run on the Titans. It's just what it is.
At all. It is what it is. Exactly.
If you're a one-dimensional team and you don't have a strong quarterback, and I'm not saying it about CJ Stroud, but if you don't have a strong quarterback, and like you said, if you don't have the complementary receivers, you ain't gonna really go nowhere. Now, teams like the Bengals, that's when you run into a problem because the teams like Joe Burrow, who is a legit top 5 quarterback, he can thread you up.
Right.
He can get you right. They don't need a run game with the Bengals. They just need him out there to say, okay, cool, I'm going to throw it to him. I'm going to throw it to him. I'm going to throw it to him.
That's right.
That's where you get a little shaky. That's where, again, we'll get to that game because I got a lot to say about that game. I've watched a lot of Bengals games, man.
Yeah. And we don't, speaking of running backs, John, for the rest of the season, Jonathan Taylor's the best running back that we have. And that's not saying a lot.
That's not saying a lot.
It does.
We're going to stop him too.
Exactly. So our defense is really like, hey, just do like what we did against the Texans today. You know what I'm saying? Push up front. Have your DBs sitting there where they need to be. Play good. We didn't allow a lot deep today either. Defense played extremely well today, man.
Wait till L'Jarius and Uze come back. Oh, it's really a wrap. Matter of fact, I don't even think I want to play a Uze because I'm like, man, I like JB. I like Jarvis, man, in that position. So it's almost like, it's a tricky thing, dog.
Yeah, it is. We'll go one more question, y'all. We'll go one more question out there. We appreciate everybody in the chat, by the way, for sure.
10 set says Redskins. You mean the Commanders? What are you talking about?
That's
I
what
know
we played. Yep.
Yeah, we play next. Yeah, and
Yep.
Jaden is another, and I'm gonna tell you with him, he's unknown. That's the unknown scary part about that team is we got tape on Jaden Daniels, but you don't know what you're gonna get. That's the teams we tend to struggle with. Like we don't know how we don't have too much tape on him. And then the Redskins defense they're just like the Colts. They're not world beaters, but they sneaky. These are two teams that we don't play too often. And I think the last time we played them, didn't Taylor Lewan mess with Josh Norman?
Yeah.
When last time we played them? Is that when we played them last time?
I think we've played them since then. I think maybe
we have. We beat them. We beat them. Yeah.
Derrick Henry had a good game that game too, from what I remember. So, well, cool, y'all. Well, listen, look, we want to say thank you all for joining the show. Absolutely, the Tennessee Titans with the big win today, and AFC South win today, 32-27, beating the Houston Texans in the H-Town. Shout out to everybody, man, watching the show, man. Listen, if you have not followed us, do that now. Follow us on Bleacher Report at Lorenzo_the Hawk. You can follow Jacques as well at Jacques Merrill. Shout out to everybody on Bleacher Report, man. As well, you can follow us on Tennessee Titans Weekend on YouTube. We got merchandise out there too on Teespring, TEE Spring. We have hoodies and everything. Check us out on Instagram, Tennessee Titans Weekly, Titans Weekly 24/7 on Twitter, Apple and Spotify. We're on those internet streets, man.
Hey, again, thank y'all for participating and watching the show, man. Thank you for Bleacher Report for giving us this opportunity. Hey, and we got the win today. Tighten up, and everybody have a safe week. Safe, happy Thanksgiving. If we don't get to talk to you, and Hawk, take us home, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, as we always say and as we always do, folks, facts.
No paper.